you guys. Light a little candle to commemorate our coming together. It's not lighting. There we go. Hi. Hello. Oh my goodness. I can't even deal with how you guys have all been here, but I want to apologize because again, we got our time wrong. It's 1 o'clock Pacific time on Tuesdays. I'm so sorry that some of you have been waiting for so long. Hi, I'm Elena of the Witches Box, and we're here with our usual Tuesday live where I do an oracle reading and then we hang out and do witchcraft Q&A. And I mean, look at all you people talking. I love it. So welcome. Let me see if I can come up with all the names. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Column, hi, Purple Pixie, Emerance, Renee, Lavender, Sophia's Temple, Jennifer, hello, Ashley. Let's see. Alexis, hi. Did not miss it. We're all here. Yay. This is on time. Actually, I'm a little bit early, but I just couldn't handle all of you talking and me not being a part of it. That's kind of where it was at. Let's see, who else have I missed? I said hi to you. Let's see. Brooke, hello. Welcome. Kay, hi. Oh, I skipped. Goodness. Elsbeth, hello. Crafting My Life, hello. Layla and Ralph and KJ and Camilla. Oh my gosh, hello, welcome. So it's Tuesday. I've got my candle lit. I already burned some incense, but look, because we have them now. Let's see. This is the Dark Moon Mist Spray. So I don't know that I mentioned this in the video that I sent out with that box. I might have, I don't remember now, but we can talk about it in the live at the end of the month. But because we are in a waning moon, it is not technically a dark moon, but we're in the waning moon phase of our lunar cycle for this month. And it's about the pulling away. I spoke about this on Friday, the diminishment, the retreat, the slowing down. I use this. So in place of like my smoke, if I come in, I still use smoke because I'm kind of that overkill girl. But if I just want to imbue the space that I'm in with that particular energy, I'll use these. So I'm going to use it right now because this is one of my favorites. I think this is my favorite spray, the Dark Moon one. I'll tell you what this is in a minute for those of you who don't know. But here we go. And we're on. I know, I'm happy to see everyone. Hi, Tanya. Melissa, hello. Hi. We're here. I'm using a different deck of cards for our oracle reading. And I do have, it's not like a poll, but I want to ask your opinion on oracle cards after we do the oracle reading. And then I'll do announcements because I think I have announcements. I have a couple of announcements, I think, if I remember correctly. So hello, we're going to be using the Sacred Earth Oracle deck. See that? Let's see, go, there we go. Beautiful deck. It's by Toni Carmine Salerno and Leela J. Williams, and the artwork is by Helena Nelson-Reed. The artwork is beautiful for this deck. Just really gorgeous. And this is the card that I pulled, which of course is gorgeous, and it's Stretch, which I love. I pulled this, and it's interesting. I don't know that I've ever pulled this card from this deck ever, and it looks super unfamiliar to me, even though, you know me, I'm that girl where I will just sit down with the deck when I'm kind of wanting to kill time but want to be inspired, and I'll look through every single card in a particular deck just to kind of absorb those images. And so I thought, I've never pulled this, which is interesting. What came up when I first pulled this was both yoga, my own personal yoga practice, which comes and goes depending on my moods and depending on my life. I'm in a go kind of stage. But one of my favorite types of yoga is Yin Yoga, which is a very passive but very transformative and impactful stretch practice. It's very much about deep tissue stretching. And so that's the first thing that came up for me. But the other part is Stretching elongates, stretching opens, stretching creates flexibility and the ability to reach further, grow further, move further when we stretch. And oftentimes in our lives, when we go through periods of growth, we become sometimes a little jarred and a little traumatized by, holy cow, I wasn't quite ready for this kind of change. Sometimes change in our lives and change spiritually, intellectually, psychologically can be a little traumatizing because it comes when it's unexpected, and it can feel like the ground from underneath has shaken pretty vigorously, right? It's disruptive. But what I love about stretching, both metaphorically and physically, is that if you do it on a continuous basis, if you do it both physically and intellectually and spiritually and psychologically, if it's a constant practice for you that you do regularly, then the growth and the change that wants to come into your life can be folded into an already established growth process. Does that make sense? So stretching as a metaphor for me, what came up is the necessity to always be, and even if it's a small practice, but a daily practice where you are very purposefully creating space within yourself and flexibility within yourself to roll with the transformative changes that you are initiating, but also that come as a natural part of your growth life, right? When we are already creating space for something, when we're already in the act of allowing room for something new to come in, the growth and transformation and the catharsis that we end up hitting throughout life stages becomes easier to absorb because you're already cultivating the ground for it. Does that make sense? So that's what came up with this card, which is the be proactively allowing space, creating flexibility for those changes and those growth points to come, because then you can absorb them with much more ease and allow more time and space for the integration that is necessary when we do go through these phases of growth. As opposed to, oh, you get hit by something and it's like, okay, this is probably going to grow me, but oh my God, this is really intense and I wasn't expecting this and I wasn't cultivating the ground for it. So that is what comes up with this card, which is basically create practices for yourself where you are actively always stretching, both intellectually, physically, not both, but intellectually, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, so that when the changes begin to come, when the growth moments hit you in your life, you have already established an ongoing practice of creating space and flexibility to absorb those in a much gentler fashion. Boom. That is the oracle reading for today. This is the card. There we go. It's just beautiful. Super beautiful. I love it. Boom. There is our reading. So that's it. I'm going to roll into announcements after this reading. And hey, Jamie, hi. I just missed some names. Michelle, hello. Susan, hello. Okay, so I just finished the oracle reading. If you missed it, you can catch it on the replay. I'm going to roll into announcements, and then I have a quick opinion question about oracle cards after that, and then we can just hang out and do witchcraft Q&A. Okay, so announcements. All of the August Moon Mist boxes have shipped. I'd say at least a little bit over half of them have already arrived. If you haven't gotten yours, be patient, it's coming. And the extra Moon Mist boxes that we have are already on sale, have already started flying off the shelf. So if you want one of those, go to the Witches store on our website quick, because those are going. We have two offerings though. We have the Moon Mist box from August that's on sale. We have a few extra of those, but then we also have a second offering, which is if you just want the Moon Mist sprays, all 3 sprays, and not what was in the main box, you can buy them separately as well. Those are flying off because there were quite a few of you who were like, oh my God, I have to have as many as possible. And so even before I sent the email out yesterday announcing that those 2 things were on sale, the 3 bottle box had already started to I mean, let me tell you, I love you guys and I love your enthusiasm. So those aren't going to be around for a while. So if you want those, go get those because I don't know that they're going to be available past tonight or tomorrow. So there's that. Oh my God. Darcel! Oh my God. Hi! How are you? Darcel just joined the space, and Darcel is an old friend. Beautiful, not old as in age, but old as in lengthy lifetime. Hi, Mama. How are you? It's good to see your name pop up. I love it when names like this pop up. Anyway, so here we are. So those are the boxes. Those are the announcements for that. We have one more week of open registration for Healing the Witch Wound virtual retreat. Go get in on that now. It is going to be just 2 days as opposed to the 3 that we normally do. Which I have to say I'm a little bit regretful of because it is going to be a jam-packed 2 days of a lot of learning and a lot of sharing. So get in on that because it's a really beautiful retreat that we all really can be served well with and by. So that's the other announcement. Today. So tomorrow I'm going to send out an email with information on the virtual retreat, but I'm also going to send out information on the live retreat that we have happening in September. This information page should have gone up a month ago, but the challenges on the website and all the things that have been going on have kind of kept me from putting that page up. It should have gone up a month ago. This is a retreat in California, in Southern California, happening in the middle of September. So it's right around the corner. We really only have 3 spaces left, but I'm going to put it out there because it's going to be really powerful. We're going to be working with ancestry and our ancestors. We're going to do an ancestral initiation ritual. There's going to be art ritual. There's going to be a lot of things going on. It's a very ritual heavy weekend. But very impactful and very transformative. That email and that page will be out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And hey, Infinite, hello. I'm glad that you're here for the first time. So that's it. I think that's it in terms of announcements. Okay, here's the other thing. Excuse me. It's still happening. I feel like I'm going to have this cough for the rest of my life, basically. The other thing is, I have mentioned this before, and some of you who were part of the book subscription, and also I've recommended these 2 books on here multiple times, but Tiffany Lasik, who is the author of The Noble Work, The Great Work, and The Noble Art, amazing books. Get them if you don't have them. She has participated in our lives twice. She's amazing. I know several of you ended up reaching out to her because she's also an amazing therapist. Amazing, beautiful, deep, intellectual, and witchy work. It's gorgeous. She shared with us, I don't even know, like a year or 2 ago, she has a practice where she's got a really beautiful, huge bowl, and every single oracle deck that she has, she just dumps it in the bowl, all mixed up, all in one glorious bowl on an altar, and then she just picks from that bowl once a day, or however often she wants to do. I feel like this is such a gorgeous idea, but the Virgo moon in me is like twitchy over the idea of taking all of my decks. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. Of taking all of my decks out and kind of mixing them up in a bowl. But I also really want to do it. So anyway, I'm basically asking, like, I don't even know what I'm asking. Yes? No? Would you do this? Is this something that you would do? I would show you. Maybe next week I'll show you mine if I end up just getting the guts to just do it. But I love the idea of just having all of my oracle cards, which is kind of a lot. It's an obscene amount of cards in a gorgeous bowl and just picking each one out throughout the day, because this whole thing that I do with you guys more than anything, which is to pick a specific deck that we're going to work with for a while, it's too much. I don't know why. It's just too much. So I'm thinking strongly. I think I just need to get past my neurosis over having everything in neat little boxes and putting them all in a bowl. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. And then we can move on to like more substantive questions on witchcraft. But basically, I don't even know what I'm asking you. Yes, no, would you not? Does it sound kind of like, I know some of you are like, woohoo, whatever goes, goes. And you're very like super go with the flow. I have some OCD parts of my life that I'm never going to get rid of because I kind of like them. And it's rubbing up against that part of me as opposed to the artsy part of me. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be beautiful to have a bowl? You know, the whole thing. So let me see what's going on in the chat. Okay, hello. No, I am old. You're not old. You're not old. We're not old. None of us are old. Yes, the deck is beautiful. Okay, hold on. Yin is by far my favorite. I know, Renee. It's really such a beautiful practice. Hey, Susan, welcome. I do have website stalkers. I mean, that's cool. You can stalk the website. That's where you're going to find out all of the latest. Hey, Mike, welcome. This is Illyria. Oh, it's Illyria. But I'll have to catch you on the replay because I have something the first day of it. Oh, you're talking about the virtual retreat. That's totally fine because I think that this retreat, after we do it live so that we can all interact with each other, I'm probably going to take most of that and turn it into an evergreen course. But you're going to have access to the videos and the recordings afterward, as we have in the past. Ritual looks awesome. Hopefully later this year. Can afford one after my Louisiana trip in October. Oh, how fun. Really? Louisiana. Oh goodness. Hold on, I skipped again. Susan says, I always like to say that instead of saying I'm old, I'm going through a beautiful and wise maturity. Sounds more powerful and positive. I love that. I just, at this point, I just say I'm just getting started. So it's like I've been through a little turning 50 rebirth. Hello, Darcel. I'm 50. Can you believe that? Virgo moon ditto. Nope. Okay, so Tani is a no. Mike says, I bought the herbs for Herbal Magical, but I don't know what to do. I bought the herbs for Herbal Magic, but I don't know what to do. There are quite a lot of books out there, Mike, on botanical magic or using botanicals in magic. Tell me if you're subscribed to the box, because the next box for September is about a particular type of magic. And there's a beautiful book included in that box, and botanical use in magic is placed fairly heavily into that. So that could be very helpful for you. Another Virgo moon. I love it. I know Virgo moons rock. Abby, do it. If you hate it, you can. That's true. You're right. This is true. Thank you. See, Abby's got like the voice of reason. I can always go back. Alexa says my borderline OCD brain wouldn't allow it. I know there's a rub. There's a rub there. Oi, the skipping around. So Tanya says maybe try it with like 10 decks in a bowl and see how that feels. I'm gonna have to just play with it. I do know that the two Colette, I think is it her name Colette Basin Reed? No, Colette Baron Reed. The two decks that I have of hers, I definitely feel like I probably will not mix those in just because I really love those as their own thing. And I do use the books for that as well. And I wouldn't do it with the Danielle Dulski books or the Danielle Dulski cards either, because that is a very different type of oracle deck that come with rituals and different things. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, 10, you're so cute. I have so many that I can play with. So I think I'm just going to have to try it. And if I don't like it, right? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the permission, the suggestions. Okay. Callum says, I absolutely would not. I love everything in its place. Used when it calls to me, and only then. I think it's less jumbled and more powerful that way. I know it's thing. Jamal, hi Jamal. I've combined my Queen of Moon Oracle with my Green Witch Oracle deck, and my Virgo Rising also didn't love the idea, but I kept feeling called to do it. So there you go. Love it. Hi Jennifer. Oh yeah, Jennifer. Try it if you don't like it. Okay, so that is the answer. Try it. And if I don't like it, I still have the boxes and all the things and I can put them back. Darcel says I couldn't do that. I like everything neat and organized, right? Like everything has to have its place. You need to stretch. This would be good. Cheryl, that was good. I love that. Personally, I would not be able to do it, but if you feel pulled, it's probably the reason. I know. You know what pulls me too is in my mind, I know exactly what it's going to look like. And there's something really beautiful because I have this really big, pretty rustic wooden bowl that I use a lot for photography, but also for rituals. And it's just, I may have to buy a second bowl, but I know exactly what all these cards in this beautiful bowl would look like. I know exactly what I'm going to put in the center as kind of like a PowerPoint. Like that appeals to my Libra. See, it's a whole thing. All right. Oh goodness. I don't know what's happening. The chat box is jumping left and right today, or actually up and down. Excuse me, I did that. Yeah, definitely gonna try it. Okay, I'm gonna try it. I've committed. I'm going to try it. I don't think I'd have the patience to sort them back into the boxes after. Oh, I could probably do that. That would be like a nice, like, I need to check out kind of exercise where you just lose yourself in a, yeah, that might actually be fun. Break a boundary. Break the boundary. Sometimes we got to break the boundaries. Michelle says, Oracle decks. Why am I getting a pop-up from YouTube? What's happening? No. Michelle says, the Oracle decks that match, I mix. Like the decks from, oh, smart. Yeah, so all of the decks that she's done some beautiful decks. I actually don't have any of them, which I don't understand because I always see them and I want them and I never go and buy them. Darcel, I'm 64. Can you believe that? No, I can't believe that. Like, how is this happening? I think Darcel and I have known each other for easily, Jesus, like what, over 20 years. Over 20 years. Oh my God. Whew. All right. The White Wolf Witch, write the name of the decks and put them in a bowl and then pull. That's an alternative. I love that. Okay. Jennifer says, oh, I love these teases for next month. Baron, it's Baron, yeah. Joy, another book. Spoilers. Yeah, another book. There may be, because you know, I can't stay away from the books. There will very likely be, in fact, I think that the answer to this is definitely yes. There will be a book for October as well. This book is not out yet, and it is gorgeous. You know the author. And it's going to be amazing. So there's that. So the next 2 months we'll have books involved. Okay, I read that. Yeah, it's the Shaman's Dream. That's the one that it's a Shaman's Dream. And then I forget what the other one's called. In fact, I've got it, Spirit Animal. Those 2 decks, I don't think I can actually do that too. So there are some limits to my willingness to take a risk. I would ask myself if the energy I would extend in mixing all the cards worth the energy of putting them back. Oh, I love this. The cost of benefit analysis. I love that. Especially since you have been ill. There is that. I mean, look, you know, it's interesting. I got out of the car today to walk into my office and I coughed because it's still here. And normally, under normal circumstances or typical more common illnesses, I'd be able to really tap in and see, like, what does my body need to kind of help alleviate this? I can't quite get that going here because I don't know why. I think it's such a strange, this illness is so strange, right? Like, we don't know how it's going to affect one person or the other. Sometimes you get long-term effects, sometimes you don't. And I just can't quite tap in, other than, and maybe this is the only thing that needs to happen, my sleep has become, I have become fiercely boundaried and protective of my sleep. I'm getting a lot more sleep than I have had in probably the last 2 years. And I'm feeling much more rested than I have in a long time, even though last week was kind of like the culmination of a lot of burnout and a lot of stress. I just kind of clawed back my like need to take care of myself over the weekend and sleep. So maybe sleep is really what it needs, but usually it's you need more of this, or you need to take this, or you need to add this herb to your, it's the only thing that's coming through is sleep. It's still happening because obviously I sound like a frog, but here we are. So yes, measuring the energy that I have to put in and put out to mixing a bunch of cards is a smart thing to look into. Oh, Crafting My Life says, I love to mix and continue and combine Juliet Diaz's Sabbats related decks. Right. What she's doing is so cool. Those decks are gorgeous. Leela, hello. I like the mixing cards idea, but I probably wouldn't do it myself. I have separate notebooks for each deck. Oh, smart. But I second to trying it to see if you but I second to trying out if you feel to try it. More books. I need more shelves. Yeah, the shelf situation. I have a friend who I have known longer than my sister has been alive. We've been friends for more than 50 plus years. That sometimes hurts my head along with the kid. Cute. Claudia, sorry I missed. No worries. Welcome. Curls and Pearls, welcome too. Finally got home from work. How much did I miss? Well, you missed the Oracle reading and you missed announcements, but you can catch that in the replay. We're just kind of hanging out talking about Oracle cards and how to organize them, I guess is maybe the right way. Jennifer, when I had COVID in May, it took so long to get my energy back. Yeah. Okay, 20 minutes. Excuse me. Melissa, this next retreat is in Temecula, Southern California. We've got a gorgeous place. And we have a lot of open space and land around us, so we're going to be pretty much we're going to be able to ritual outside under the stars in a desert environment, which I love for this time of year. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Abby, you're going to need a bathtub to mix them if you decide to. I know. Yeah, that's probably more like it. I'm also thinking of doing another like giveaway of some sort, even though they're used, but a lot of you didn't care if they were used, because I can't even track anymore at this point how many I have. Callum says, I've been a lot happier since I snuck up on a mouse in the forest at 9 p.m. last night. I don't know why. I was trying to sneak around and spot a deer. On the other hand, the woods at night are super scary. There's a lot of life going on in the woods at night. Jennifer, yes, I had COVID in late May, early June. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to read you guys talking to each other, but I encourage it, so keep talking to one another. Curls and Pearls, I did something I said I would never do. I bought a Kindle. I didn't think I would love it so much. Let me tell you, Curls and Pearls, I've talked about this before. The idea of reading a book on a Kindle to me was like blasphemy. I just couldn't get into it. This is ridiculous. Like, books are sacred objects of art. Like, I need the paper. But at the time, since 2013 up until maybe 2019, until COVID hit and the world stopped, we traveled extensively. And for a long time, I would bring on our long-term travel. We would travel for 1 to 3 months at a time. I'd drag with me 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books, which is not practical because the suitcases would be super heavy. Sometimes I would have to books are closed. It just wasn't practical. And so my husband, I don't remember what year, got me a Kindle. And I was like, and I was trying to use my iPad just to kind of test it out, but the iPad has a glare. It's not as a comfortable tool to use to read as a Kindle. So he gave me the Kindle, and I actually love it for specific books. Like, I love it for books that are fiction, because again, I still need to write and take notes and do all the things in a book when I'm learning something, when it's nonfiction. So I mainly use it for fiction books, which I don't do as much, but when I do, it's kind of nice. I do it in the bathtub. Mine's water resistant, so like if it's never fallen, I'm gonna knock on wood. But it's actually been a great tool. I've had it now for a couple of years and I love it. It took me a long time to come around to liking the idea even of a Kindle. Kay says, I just got the Alchemy deck by Kim Krans. Oh, I heard about this deck. I haven't gotten it yet. I have her other 3. Excuse me. Terry Jones says, I have the Tiffany Lasik book on the way, the Noble Art. I'm behind time, but if you don't want to dump all your Oracle decks in a bowl, start with 2 to 3. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I have kind of a pretty busy day. It's 1:30. I may do it tonight as part of my break to kind of like play. Playing is good. Hey Ada, welcome. Curls and Pearls says, exactly. It's so nice when I have it with me and I get stuck on a 16-hour shift. Right. And it's like a small little thing that you can just slip into your bag. It doesn't weigh a lot, all the things. Polka Doc, welcome. What's an oracle reading? I've had my deck for 15 plus years, traveled all over, 15 years battling addiction, 4 years sobriety, and they have always stayed by my side. Beautiful. An oracle reading. I basically pull an oracle card for the whole community once a week. And the typical way that I do most readings isn't so much of a predictive future as much as it is what is the question that your soul most needs to answer now to help you move forward in your growth and development. And so that's generally the perspective from which I read oracle cards. And if you missed it, you can catch it on the replay. Jamie says, speaking of books, I just got back from Hexfest. Oh my God, how was that? And I attended the Santa Muerte workshop with, Tomas. I love Tomas. It was amazing. I told him I read all of his books thanks to you and your reviews. Oh, awesome. We love Tomas here. I think we've had him here twice, 3 times? Twice, I think twice, 2 of his books. He's amazing and he's lovely and his writing is amazing as well. And we did the book on Santa Muerte and we did the book on, what was the other book that we did? Santa Muerte. I think it was an ancestral book. Now I don't remember. I can't believe I don't remember. But tell me more about how Hexfest was. I want to get to Hexfest at one point. I just started The Noble Art a few days ago. I'm hoping to get as much out of it as I can. You'll get a lot, Claudia. It's a really beautiful book. And you don't, I know this question comes up a lot. People wonder if you read The Noble Art before you read the great work, are you going to miss out? If you just read the first few chapters that kind of set the tone for the kind of work that she's leading you through, you're fine. You're not missing any key pieces because she talks you through the work that she's putting forth. So it's great. But I still do recommend getting the first book. Oh, I can't do that, Elspeth. Elspeth says, mind you, if we put all the cards in a bowl, you can flatten the boxes gently with more space for books. No, I can't do that because a lot of the boxes that I have for the decks that I have are like these hard. I could not, which then also brings up the question that I'm taking up even more space now that it's morbid magic. Well, Jamie, we've done morbid magic. We did warrior magic. So warrior magic was sent out in the box, and I believe Santa Muerte was also put on the box. I read morbid magic, so I don't know if I had him for that one. I don't remember. Or did the morbid magic also talk about Santa Muerte? It's been a while. I also just got the 78 Tarot Animal deck. It's so beautiful. Oh, I gotta look at that. Hexfest, Brooke, is a conference for witches down south. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's in Louisiana, New Orleans. Maybe Jamie can give us some more fun details. But usually, at least what I've seen in the past, the keynote speakers and the classes offered or the conference panels and things that are offered are really they're down and dirty magic, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely worth going. Apparently too, rumor has it, I shouldn't even be talking out of my ass because I've never been, but you know, when you're in this crowd, you hear things. The partying after hours is what I hear is highly next level. So there's that for those of you who like to party. 70. Right, Crystal, thank you for that. So yes, he came for the chat for Warrior Magic with Phoenix LaFay. So yes, he was there for that. But I don't remember now oh no, he was there. He was there for the talk on morbid magic. And if I'm not mistaken now, I think that the morbid magic book also spoke a lot about Santa Muerte, correct? God, I'm kind of out of touch. Yeah, I love when Crystal. Well, first of all, I love when Tomas is here to talk with us about books, but also Phoenix LaFay. Phoenix LaFay has been with us more than I think any other author. And I think I mentioned this last week. She sent me an advance copy of her upcoming book. The book doesn't publish until April, so I'm not going to talk about what the book is about, but also really, really, really good. It's a book that every witch needs to have. It's a topic that I don't see anything about in this detail anywhere out there in the market right now, but necessary. So be on the lookout for that. Her next book is coming out in April, and it's amazing. And if you're out there, girl, thank you for sending it to me. I'm so excited that I got to read it early. It's really, really good. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Brooke says, it's insane. I had a dream last night that I was in Louisiana. How are your dreams doing, everybody? My dreams have been, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm getting more information from my dreams in the last couple of weeks than I think I've ever gotten in my life. I haven't done anything different. I think maybe something astrological is going on, and I'm pretty well versed at this point in my life with dream work. But there's just been like a next level up of some sort where I'm waking up, I'm like, whoa, that was a lot. There's a lot happening. And I'm not, right now I don't have the energy to lucid dream or do anything extra credit. I just set intention for before I go to sleep, and I go to sleep and I wake up and I note down what's going on. But yeah, it's much more vivid, way more symbolism, a lot more layering. It's been it's been a little jarring, but also really helpful. So there's that. Oh, I haven't seen that book, Abby. I got Woodland Warded. I'm gonna write that down. Where's my pen? Okay. Woodland War. Wait. Where are you at? I lost you. Oh my God. Woodland Wardens. I'll check that out. One of the benefits of having this business is that everybody sends me their like, hey, coming up next season, these are the things that we're going to publish and put out. It's a stack. I haven't looked through them because I've been behind on that catalog mail. So I'm not totally up the way I usually am in terms of what's coming out, unless there are 2 advanced copies. Obviously, one of them is the Phoenix LaFay book that I got. Unless I get an advanced copy. Actually, no, Cindy Brandon is coming out with something new too, and so is Jane Meredith. Oh my God. Okay. Claudia says, my dreams have been wild. So much crap to work through that keeps coming through. Good. Curls and Pearls, my dreams are like real life at the moment. It's been very odd. Maybe there's something astrological going on, because I feel like there's just been a marked change. Callum says, they are more lucid for a while, but then I ran out of oolong tea. I know. I got your, I'm going to tell you this now, Callum, because my email response time obviously is very slow. Your oolong tea, you're in Europe, so I don't know what the shipping into Europe is going to be like. I find it really hard to believe that you don't have any resources for oolong tea in England. Right? Aren't you in England, or are you in France? I forget. I think you're in England, yeah? You can look at sfherb.com. They are geared towards like the smallest bag of tea or botanicals that you can get from them. Not always. Sometimes they'll have an 8 ounce and sometimes they'll have a 16 ounce, but it's designed for bulk purchasing. So you might want that because you want to stock up maybe for a long time if you're having a hard time finding your oolong tea where you're at. But I don't know that they ship international. So most of my resources when it comes to botanicals are here. Actually, all of my botanical sources are in the States. And they're all geared towards like bulk, like large quantities. Like sometimes we'll get a 50 pound bag of herbs here. So you can try SF herbs. You can try mountain rose herbs. or maybe are they Mountain Rose Botanicals? One of those two. Again, they're American, but there's got to be a place in the UK where you can get like bulk tea. I can't imagine that you don't have access to that, because it's definitely going to be more expensive for you to ship from the United States to you. Hold on, I lost my place in the chat and my voice is going. Hold on. Okay, I read that. Growing with Anastasia, welcome. For the first time in a while, I have been remembering my dreams, and I'd rather not. They often make me sad, not sure what to do about that yet. You can try to shift it. So before you go to sleep, if it's sad because they're more memory-based, you can try to guide it in a different direction. So we've talked about this before in other videos where with intention, you set up a protective circle. You maybe have some mugwort under your pillow, or you drink some mugwort tea or damiana. Or if those are too intense for you, you can do skullcap or chamomile. Anything that really relaxes you, opens you up. And set the intention for a particular type of dream. Like, I'm looking for answers to this particular question. May the dream be that response to this question, so that you are guiding the content to some degree, or creating a container for specifically the kind of information that you want to receive in the dream time. That can be a way to go. The other thing is that if we are having dreams where we're processing stuff that we're not fully grieving while we're awake, you're going to grieve it while you're sleeping. And so in that sense, to me, that would be an indicator that you need to really dive in to what you really don't want to feel, so that you can move through it and move that energy through you. Sometimes it takes longer than just a session. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, right? Our processes and our phases through these emotions take time. It's part of the dance. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Okay, I read that. You're in England, though. I do have resources for oolong tea. I just wasn't sure what was what, to be honest. I need more words. Like, what was what in terms of what? Elspeth says, my dreams have had me waking up and finding myself a little scared of my surroundings. Oh, the other night my bed appeared to grow upward, not in a secure, safe way. That's interesting. What do you think that that's about? Because here's the other thing. We talk about this. I've been putting together a pretty extensive long-term e-course on dream work that walks you through a whole practice. And here at the Witch's Box, even though the witchcraft that we share with all of you and that I teach is pretty non-denominational, so that it can be as accessible to all different traditions as possible, I approach my witchcraft from an animist perspective. And so it's not just that I am having a dream that I interpret, it's that the dream that I had is an entity of itself, in and of itself, that it has a particular personality, a particular flavor, a particular mission, a particular purpose. And I can ask the dream, what exactly is it that you're trying to tell me? I didn't quite get it. What's going on? What is it that I need to know? You can ask the dream after the fact to give you that information. And I do that through entering into a meditative state, so that it's not necessarily as I wake up, although sometimes if I have time, I can do it that way. But I take my notes, and then later when I have time in the day, I set some time aside. I cast a circle, I create my meditative seat, and I engage with the dream in that way, where I ask it, can you reveal more to me? And then allow space and room to receive that information. So you can engage that way, so that when you start to have these different dreams that have all these different things going on, you can say, hey man, what's going on? Like, give me some more, because this is different. And I feel like there's something that's being tried to say, something that's trying to be said here, and I'm not getting the message. Tony says, I'm reading a few books at once. More power to you, man. I cannot. I wish I can do that. One, I am third of the way through, is of Blood and Bones, also Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones. Hold on. This is the second time that I've told myself I need to get Sticks and Stones. Blood and Bones is I reviewed it. There's a video somewhere on our YouTube channel for that. That book is amazing. It's her first book. Just the first book out the gate, it was brilliant. We need more books like that out there because we're so shy about the blood and bones of witchcraft. So let me know what you think, but I think the book is phenomenal. Sticks, stones, roots, stones, roots. I don't want to forget this. And bones. Yeah, that's a great book. Can I get links to those? You mean the place for the herbs? I can only remember off the top of my head SF herbs, so I'm gonna do that right now because I don't think it has an S. But if you do a search for San Francisco herb or herbs, you'll get the link. Reading Rebel Witch on my Kindle. I've got I read Rebel Witch a while back. Camila, my dreams had been agitated because of a huge thunderstorms, which makes me think, can anything witchy be done with thunders? I mean, you tell me if you think anything witchy can be done with thunder. There's a lot of power there. And in the lightning. Jamal says, does oolong assist with lucidity? I know it's great for divination, but have never heard that, and I have some. I don't work with oolong that way. I don't work with oolong much anymore. I'm trying really hard to eliminate stimulants from my body because the older I get, the harder they are for me to manage. And I feel like the more I can work towards bringing my nervous system into its natural state, the more aware and more connected I can become. So I don't work with it that way. It does have caffeine, and so there are people out there that are really well served by being sped up and being able to sense what's going on around them. But most times that's not the case. Most times it's the opposite. It's the opening and the slowing down and the spaciousness that happens when we're in a deep, relaxed state. And caffeine does not facilitate a deep, relaxed state. That's not to say that some people don't use it that way, but that's my take. Going with Anastasia says, good advice. I was not guiding my dreams at all. Was just laying there and letting things happen. Yes. So definitely setting parameters, container, and intention is helpful. Colin says, I wasn't sure if all sources were genuine or ethically sourced, nor was I sure if the different flavors had any impact on magic or which ones. I mean, so, hold on. Let me think back on my tea research. Oolong tea is tea leaves, and it's just aged and dried to a certain amount of time, right? So black tea, green tea, oolong tea. What is the other one? There is a white tea, though most people I don't think really drink white tea, but it all speaks to how long those leaves were aged, but also how young they were or how old they were when they were picked. It's all the same plant. And we typically mix those things with flavored botanicals to make like different teas, right? On their own, they have a particularly earthy flavor. Some people love it, some people don't. But you can add other botanicals to the tea to make it a flavored tea, right? So from there, you can just do your research in terms of like, what botanicals do I want to lace into the base of tea leaves, because you're working with tea leaves basically. Does that make sense? I don't even know if I answered your question. Mike Smith says, I had a dream of a person in the air. She was wearing all black and a black hooded outfit, and I drew Lilith's sign to protect myself. It's always a recurring dream. If it's always a recurring dream, then it could be that you're trying to be someone is trying to make contact with you. You're welcome, Elspeth. Jennifer says, not sure if you answered this earlier, but are you going to be putting your spell boosting oil in a box? I tried making my own. Yeah, I don't think so, only because that is another recipe. I'm embarrassed about this actually, because I had these 2 notebooks with recipes. I lost them. And this is why, one of the reasons why for a long time I just wasn't doing this mist sprays or the incenses, because I couldn't find this notebook. I have many, many notebooks. I'm a notebook girl. And for whatever reason, that recipe, which was from a long time ago, that was one of our very first boxes back almost 5 years ago. It's amazing. I don't have that recipe anymore. I have I have a little bit of that oil left for myself, and that's it. Although more and more lately, what I'm using is as a base oil. I'll use essential oils depending on what it is that I'm doing, or if I just needed an oil to anoint a candle and then layer botanicals on the candle, I use olive oil. I love olive oil because of the peace aspect around olives, and I love weaving that into the spell work that I do. But I will very likely do this. If I find that recipe again, because I'm going through another purging cycle in my office, I will very likely just give out the recipe, and then you guys can make your own. I can think of several things that were in that oil off the top of my head, but it was a pretty extensive recipe. Ada says, Elena, putting your tarot cards all in a bowl sounds like fun, gives me a little anxiety. But on the same token, what I would do is buy another set of the same and put those on the side. Oh no, I can't do that. That's just crazy talk. I can't do that. I can't do that because I have too many already. And again, I'm trying really hard to begin to let me simplify and weed. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm surrounded by 12 different stacks of books to be read. Can you see it? Where's my screen? Right here. See this? This is one of those cute little to be read carts, the 2-layered. So that's another pile of to be read books. I can't have more decks. We have no space here. It is a situation. This is one of the reasons why the lack of space is one of the reasons why because everyone's like, why don't you buy for 3 or 4 or 5 boxes at a time so that you're 4 or 5 months ahead of schedule? There's no room. There's literally no room. So no, I can't do the double, but I think what I've settled on is I will mix them all up and put them in a bowl and hang out with it for a day or 2 to see how I feel. And if I don't like it, I'll just put them all back and we'll go from there. Trust that next Tuesday we will talk about what I did. Jennifer says, I stopped drinking coffee in May due to COVID, limited to 1 a day, had 2 today, and I don't feel very well. It can get really intense on the system. I do drink white tea, generally mixed with an herb tea for flavor. Yeah. Jamal says, okay, that's what I was thinking as far as oolong helping with lucid dreaming. I'm baking for a pop-up tomorrow. Oh, fun. So I might have misheard, but thank you, because I don't love the idea of caffeine before to bed. Yeah, so if you want to take a tea before going to bed to help with your dreaming, don't mix things up. I really prefer that you stick with one thing at a time so that you can really get intimate with the effects of that particular botanical in that particular work. So we talk a lot about mugwort here. Mugwort is really great. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't. It's not good, but you don't need a lot. You can take maybe even 2 ounces, 3 ounces. If you want to go big, you can go 4 ounces. But just before you go to bed, or if you're super anti the flavor because it's almost a acidic, astringent kind of swamp soup flavor. It's not good. I mean, I'm not going to sell it. It's not good. You can put the herb in a little sachet or whatever, like a little charm bag, and put that under your pillow or in a little bowl in your nightstand if it doesn't run the risk of you knocking it off while you sleep. You can do that. Damiana is also really good for this. Skullcap is really good for this. Chamomile is really good for this. So those 4. And in terms of intensity, I would say chamomile is the easiest on the system, the mildest. Skullcap, and then mugwort, and then Damiana. That would be a progression to play with if you wanted to kind of experiment with which one does what to you or how much it affects you. But you don't need a lot. And I would just stick to steeping one botanical at a time and not mixing things up yet until you've had an intimate relationship with each one of those and you've been able to suss out how they affect you and what kind of dream themes seem to come up with each. And for that, we've talked about this before, Don't do, oh, I'm going to do chamomile tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to do skullcap. Do chamomile for a month. Do skullcap for a month. Do mugwort for a month. Do damiana for a month, so that you have a really good understanding of how exactly they affect you and how to compare one to the other. Okay. All right, talking to each other. Oh, Pontius Pilate to find it for me. Maybe that's what I need to do. Oh, cherry and hibiscus. Okay, you guys are okay. Starlight says, I can't tolerate the flavor of mugwort. It's so bitter. Yeah, it's not. How would you go about masking it? You don't. I mean, look, here's the thing. You can add milk to it, to your tea, if you can do milk. That kind of rounds it out and softens some of that a little bit. But it's just not good. I wouldn't do honey or sugar or anything that's going to stimulate you, because you're going to go to sleep, right? So you really want to keep it as clean and pure and singular as possible. But milk, especially if it's whole milk, you don't have to do a lot, but the fattiness of the milk helps kind of round that bitterness out enough so that you can just throw it back. You can also make a tincture. So Jamal says, I've made a mugwort passion flower tincture and it really amplifies my dreams, and I'll stick with that. You can make a mugwort tincture, which is a super intense flavor, but it's an easier, quicker swallow. Do you know what I mean? You can just like throw a couple drops in the back of your throat and be done. So there's that. But tinctures, well, you can do vodka. Vodka would be working, because grain alcohol is like, it's a little, it's extra. It's extra. So yes to the tincture. Mike Smith, I saw like 5 glowing circles, all yellow, full of light inside my room. I saw a dark portal entering on the wall, and a starlit arm came out. Oh my God. I didn't know what to do. The entity disappeared. I mean, I don't know. I would say that next time ask, like, who are you and what are you here for? Remember that we're engaging in relationships. So the relationship is broader than what we think relationship is, right? We have relationships with the spirit of the land that we're on, even if we haven't made contact with them. We have relationships with the botanicals around us, the trees around us. We have relationships with each other. We have relationships with ourselves. We enter into relationship of some sort or another with deities and with our ancestors and with guides that have come to us or that we've sought. So if someone appears in your dream and it's a consistent thing, then you would treat that relationship similarly to, you just met someone new, let's say at a conference or whatever, and you have those initial conversations and exchanges that happen when you first meet someone. You want to know who they are, what's their purpose, what are their interests, how do they want to engage, how do you want to engage, and what's okay with you to engage and what's not. We can set parameters and boundaries around the entities that we see in the world of the unseen. So you want to look at it that way. If someone keeps showing up, someone's trying to get your attention. So if someone keeps showing up at your door, what would you say? How would you interact with them? And that would be the same loosely guiding principles to how you would engage people or entities that show up. And then you also want to check in with yourself. Do you feel safe? Do you feel comfortable? There might be nervousness in you because this is something new, but is it nervousness because it's something new, or is it a warning sign within that this is not okay, right? Check in with yourself the way you would when you meet someone new and you're assessing each other. Emerin says, could you steep the herb and breathe instead of, yes, you can. So yes, you can. So understand that even just having the herb around you in bed while you're sleeping is enough. You don't have to ingest it. The ingesting brings in gives you a much more visceral experience, but the energy of the botanical is still there to be your ally, even if you don't ingest it. So you can put it in a bowl on your bedside. You can put it in a little sachet under your pillow. You can ingest the fumes, like if you steep it and you want to ingest the steam or inhale the steam, you can do that. You can smoke it. Some people smoke it. If you're a smoker or you like that, do that. You can make it a tincture, so it's a quicker like swallow, because I get it. It's not. Damiana is a much better flavor. Skullcap is a much better flavor. So is chamomile. You can add milk. Some people do add like agave nectar or what was the other thing? Honey, so that you're not doing sugar. But those things still stimulate you. It's a personal thing for me. I don't want to add any more to my nervous system because I'm trying to open it up. I don't recommend it, but you might want to play with it to see if that helps you swallow it or take it down. The thing that I have experienced to alter the flavor in a more palatable way is milk of some sort. And you want milk that's either whole or 2% or maybe even like a little. You don't have to go crazy. A little half and half because you want the fat content. The fat content rounds out the flavor a little bit more and makes it much more palatable. That's my experience. But for those of you who don't do dairy and are going to do like almond or like rice milk isn't going to do it for you. It's not. Almond milk doesn't do it either. It's just not enough of a consistency to really alter the flavor that way. I think almond is probably the better one out of all the vegan milk options because oat doesn't totally do it. Soy might, but soy's got its own kind of weird flavor. So you can play with it. Mugwort, Damiana, and Oolong mixed for me produces vivid dreams of strangeness, no target to anything, just random weirdness, mostly themed around being in a school somehow. So it's more like is it more like of an anxiety dream? Tani says, I already have crazy dreams nightly. Would adding an herbal tea tame them in any way? Adding an herbal tea that is geared towards opening you up would help give you more. What I would do first is practice entering into the dream time with a very particular intention in a container so that you can maybe have a hand in guiding what you're really experiencing when you're in the dream time. Growing with Anastasia says, I wonder if you could do oregano or basil with mugwort. I've been doing basil mint tea and it's been so good. I mean, you can play with it, try it. And I would read up on what those herbs do to you in your consciousness to see if it alters any of that. Show. Hold on. I got a skippy skip. I read all that. Callum, so the simplest way to guide dreams is, let me go down my list. You want to set the space. I always cast a circle around the bedroom. It doesn't have to be the formal calling in the 4 directions. It can be that if you work with a particular deity, you can have that energy help you cast a circle. You can mark each corner of the room with like a little protective amulet so that the space itself is set to the intention of only that which you call in is allowed in. And anything else or any interference from other people is kept out. You want to create a space that's clean and available for what work you're going to do. Then it doesn't have to be complicated. If you're going to sleep at night, you want to do your tea, I would do the tea drinking right before you literally lay down. So I sit at the edge of my bed and I drink right at the edge of my bed, put the thing down, and I go to sleep. And before, you lay down, before I enter into the space, I set the intention. It could be that you have a question or you're seeking information or a learning, and you say, this is what I'm opening this space up to. Hold on, my light is freaking out. Okay. It could be that you want to do lucid dreaming, and so you enter in with that intention so that you wake up inside the dream and you're aware that you're dreaming and you're going to do something specific in there. If you want to go into the dream time and you want to meet with a guide or meet with an ancestor or meet with a deity, you set that intention. You basically just say, this is the work that I'm going to be doing while I'm dreaming, or this is what I'm seeking to receive in the dream time, or this is where I'm seeking to travel to in the dream time. You just state it. You go to sleep. And if you haven't done this a lot, you may not hit the mark. It may not happen, or it may not happen in a way that you can easily interpret. This is why the writing in the morning when you wake up is so important, because you might just have 3 or 4 words that kind of very loosely describe something that you can barely remember. But the more you do this, the more you're going to develop that muscle and the more facility you're going to have in remembering when you wake up. And that's the key. Because what happens is it's a very different language. Sometimes we get someone who shows up and says, this is your answer, like just like that. But most of the time, it does not happen that way. Most of the time, it's very symbolic, it's very representational, it's very mysterious, and you write things down so that over time you begin to see, oh, this theme keeps coming up. And then you can dive deeper into the theme that keeps coming up, or this imagery keeps coming up, or this interaction keeps coming up, or I wake up with this emotional feeling that I don't understand why it's there, but I wake up with it. And you write those things down because over time, the answers will start to bubble up to the surface when you look at all the things that you've written each morning. Now, I like writing, and I also sleep with someone in my bed. And I wake up 2 and 3 times a night because I go pee. Okay, TMI, but that's the truth. And when I wake up in the middle of the night from another dream, I remember it in that moment. But if I don't write it down then and I wait until the morning time, I will usually forget the first, second, and third dream that I had before, like the one right before I woke up in the morning, right? So rather than be super disruptive, right? And turn on the light and write in my journal and then put it away and then go back to sleep, I do have my phone charging nearby, and I'll grab my phone really quick and like type myself a little note because I woke up at 2 a.m, let's say, to go pee, and I remembered something. So I'll type it up and then I'll put it away. So I'm not moving around and being disruptive to my husband who is trying to sleep. So you can do, those are options just in terms of logistics. Then later I take those notes and I either put them in the journal or I put them in like a dream journal that I have also on my computer. So there are different ways to do that. I hope that answered your question. It doesn't have to be super complicated. Yeah. Project Refine Life. No, I'm so much better. I feel like I'm 100% back, with the exception of I still get a little congested. My nose gets congested, and it happens the more I talk, which is super inconvenient. And there's just this tickled cough that's just, it's been 2 weeks now, over 2 weeks. So it is what it is. Okay, I read that. Okay, hold on. I just lost track because the skippage today is really out of control. Okay, I read that. Callum says, for the milk thing, the channel Food Theory did a great video on the topic. As for my school-related dreams, strangely, it's a dream more of a place of vulnerable power than anything else. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Food Theory. I'm gonna write that down too, because in another life, I'm a foodie. Food Theory. Okay. In about 10 minutes, we're gonna close out. Crafting My Life says, in her book on Hecate's Garden, Cindy Brandon offers a beautiful way to work with botanicals on the astral plane directly with the spirit of the plant. Yes. Even when you do not physically possess it. Yes. Which is beautiful. It's beautiful work. And I would even go a step further and say that when you do that, you can, to help you access that space and that communication more easily, assign a sigil to each of the botanicals that you want to work with in the astral plane in order to really be able to get there and arrive quicker, because you've established a portal between you and them. Beautiful. Camilla says, I once drew a Star of David, perfectly geometrical with no magical intention whatsoever. I put it under my pillow and I had the most vivid dreams every time I put it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And yes, you can do that with other sigils, with other seals. When we did the Planetary Magic box series over the last couple of years, I think the last one was sometime before the beginning of this year, but you could do that with the planetary seals and the planetary sigils as well to receive information. That's another way to work with sigils and the dream work. Emerin says, Elena, ever since your advice about dreams and the neighbors and tons of salt mixtures in lots of places, the neighbors have been better. Oh, good. And my dreams have been more intense but less scary. Beautiful. Curls and Pearls, I put heavy whipping cream in mine. Oh, that can work too. It's just rich. It's just so rich and calming for me. I mean, whipping cream, so good. Okay. There's a light that is motion activated. Oh, I see what you're saying. Emran says there's a light that is motion activated and is meant to be put in the toilet, but could be an option. I have several, so I can, yeah, if I just use the light of my phone, I'm fine. And it doesn't require, because if I'm going to write, I have to contort myself in a way that's comfortable for the writing. I got to, you know what I'm saying? The phone is literally just like a bleary-eyed, let me type out 3 words and put it away. I don't do a lot of writing. I just do a couple of key salient points that then will help jog my memory the next morning. And then I can fill in the details as they come, or if they come. So there's that. A lot of dream talk. I'm really excited about this dream course, but the more I go with it, the more I keep adding to my notes and the outline for we're going to cover. And I feel like at some point I just need to cut it off and be done so that it can actually get done, because I just keep adding and adding and adding. And it's like, oh, okay. But dream work is so powerful, and there's so much there's a lot more that we can do with dreams other than I want an answer, or I want, there's more there that can be done that can be really enriching and really instrumental in our personal growth and power development. Yeah. But like that. So hi, we're here. We're at the end. It's 2:06 my time. And my voice is telling me it's time. But I wanted to say that on Friday, we have another meditation on Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I don't think we have that up yet, but I need to send Emily a long list of all the themes so she can schedule those out. And what else do I need to tell you? I think that's it. But remember, the mist sprays are on sale. The moon mist box is on sale. Grab one because those are going really quick. And I don't see those being in stock for more than a couple of days max. This is going to be, next week is the last week to sign up for the Healing the Witch Wound virtual retreat. So definitely be there. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be it's an important class. Really, it really is. It's a topic that we all really need to be mindful of and really be aware of in ourselves and how to work with it. And tomorrow, send me energy that this website page gets done, and I can send you information on our live retreat, which is happening in a month. So it's right around the corner. Yeah, and I need to update the banner time. I think I don't know who's gone through a time change. Emily's the one who schedules these, but because she's in England and we have to do a lot of math back and forth to see who's on what time zone, that's been part of the issue, I think, but we will get it together. Thank you for being patient with us. Hey, Iron Dogger, love that you're here. Yeah, like that. No, and of course you're welcome. Everyone come. I love first of all that you guys were all here super early before I got here. I loved opening up the page and seeing all of the chat. Amazing. That's it. I don't know that there's any other announcements, but I feel that there might be. But it'll come, and I'll see you all on Friday, and we can talk about whatever comes up then. Oh, did you hear that? The UPS guy's here. It's very exciting when the UPS guy comes. All right. Wonderful. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Be gentle with yourselves. Do some exciting magic, and we will talk in a couple of days. Okay. Bye.